So how do we go from Google Sheets to a JSON video using APIs? Maybe something like this?
Tired of writing the same emails? ChatGPT generates professional emails in seconds. Just describe what you need, and it drafts perfect responses instantly.
This type of video used to take me 4 hours to pull together between sourcing the video clips, doing the edits, doing the scripting, etc., etc. It would take ages, and now I can post this in seconds and on autopilot. So in this video series, this is part 3 of 3. In part 1, we actually generated content ideas using AI and structured it all in Google Sheets. In part 2, we automated the video rendering process using ShotStack and Make.com. And now we are bringing this all to life, right? So we're literally putting a voice to this by getting this all completely posted on autopilot. So if you're ready to bring your vision to life, then grab your coffee or your drink of choice and meet me at the computer. Okay, so here we are at the computer, and we're at our Google Sheet. Of course, this is part of the content calendar. And so where we left off, we've got the rendered. This is what we did, but we're going to add another column here to put the human in the loop for an approval. So this is going to be approved to post, a little bit wider. And then what we're going to do is add a drop down here. So all we have to do is go to this insert ribbon and then drop down. It's third from the bottom there. So I'm going to do yes, no. So green for yes. And then you can just change this color. I'm going to say this pink, like red almost, to no. Now you can see here it says allow multiple selections. We don't want that. It's one or nothing. So there, just click done. And so there you go. You can see you've got yes or no in your drop down. So then this will give you your human in the loop so that we can move on to the next step. So this can help us to trigger our next automation. So long as this, I'm going to take out the render because we want to rerun this. And then planned, we're going to say that it is pending. It will change to pending. So we want to make sure that we've got all of this sorted out, and we're going to add in a column here. One more column, and this is going to be for ElevenLabs. Now, this is optional. Now, ElevenLabs, of course, if you don't already know, you can clone your own voice. So if you want to use a voice that sounds like you instead of the AI voice that we did in last week's video, then ElevenLabs is your choice. So if you want to use your own voice, again, optional, then here we are in our template, and we're going to switch out the AI voice that we did the text to speech, if you recall, and we're going to switch this out for our own voice. So I'm going to just add in media. I'm going to delete this track first, right? Because there are all these different tracks. So if you just delete that, now we're back in the AI. We're going to go into media, into this media layer. Just give it a second. I'm going to go into audio, let it load more. There. And this is a audio that I already had of my own voice. And you can change all of the different things as we saw before.
Is a language of love. Take a moment to listen today.
So that was I'm just using that as a placeholder right now. So what we'll do is we're going to add in this merge field here. But instead of, like, we can keep it with the narration, but this is going to end up being a link to ElevenLabs. So if we look into the merge fields, there we go. Like, you can change this. You can put in a temporary URL, or you can just put in temporary text, whatever it is that you want. This is really just a placeholder, but we're going to just do the double curly brackets ElevenLabs if you want to do it that way. Now, of course, you can't have any spaces in between in your double curly brackets. That is going to be your tag. So that's how we're going to do this, pulling this in using Make.com. Again, you can keep the AI voice if you prefer that, right? But we'll just put in this test spec. It's fine, whatever. And here, again, with this double curly bracket, we're going to put in this merge field. And you can tell by that little blue asterisk. There we go. And you can just drag that all the way back. And so now you're going to have this as a layer. But what we're going to do is we're going to go back into this is our make scenario that we built last week. Okay, so I'm going to here add in ElevenLabs, but what we're going to do is we're going to take out a couple of these other modules. Okay, so we're going to keep the topic because we're going to need that. Or no, the narration was what we're going to need. So we're going to unlink. We're going to unlink this one. We don't need this one. We're going to need the narrative. I'm going to drag this over. Unlink the next three. We're not really going to need. So we're going to unlink those. There it is. And we're going to unlink it from the shot stack. There we go. And if you just hold down the shift and drag, you can just move that out of the way. So we're actually going to be able to replace all of those modules. I just wanted to do that so that you see how to, last week, just so that you know how to do this. Now I'm going to add in ElevenLabs. So what's nice is that there is an ElevenLabs. It's going to be create a speech synthesis. There's an ElevenLabs module in make.com. We have covered this in a previous video. So the voice, now you want to make sure you have your ElevenLabs connection. So if you do have an ElevenLabs, you just go into your profile here, right? And down on the bottom left, just click on your name and you're going to see there's API keys right there. And then you've got your API key. Now you can create a new one, whatever, but I already have one that I've used in make.com before, which is kind of nice. So that's why I already have my connection, but that's it. You just click that, you get your API key. I think it's a token and a key. Let's see here. You click and add, and then that's what you do. You would just do that. So now, as far as the voice, you need to have a paid version of ElevenLabs for this. You see all these pre-mades. Now it's cloned. So that's my voice that's cloned. So you can use all of these different types of sort of models. I'm going to use, I don't know, Turbo V 2.5. Why not? The text is going to be this narrative, right? Because that's the thing that I want to be in my voice. Voice stability and similarity boost. Now these settings, you can kind of play around with this once you're a little bit more comfortable. So just read through what these are, but they must be lower than or equal to 1. So stability, let's say 0.7, just so that it's a little bit more expressive. Like the lower it is, the more expressive it is, right? Maybe 0.65. And then the similarity boost, we'll keep it at 1. Why not? And then normal optimization. It's really up to you how you want to do this, but I think this part of this is just playing around with ElevenLabs and getting comfortable with it. So after the ElevenLabs, what we're going to do is we want to move this into Google Drive, right? And then you can also put it into Dropbox, whichever you want, but I'm just going to put it into Google Drive, upload a file, and you can make sure you choose the right connection and put in well, I'm not going to put it manually. We'll select from the list. There we go. So for my drive, and then the folder, just select your folder, whichever one that you've created for this. I've created one called ElevenLabs. And it automatically just maps to this ElevenLabs create a speech synthesis. So that, does it do that to me every once in a while? Just click save. You see that? So now we're going to have this file into our Google Drive, which is phenomenal. After this, we're going to update our sheet. Right, so we're going to update a row, which is fine. So we want to put in this ElevenLabs link. So the spreadsheet ID, of course, is going to be the content calendar. Eventually, the sheet, right? And then the sheet name, of course, is educate. The row number, we're going to take this now right back to our increment function, right? This is what we did it for. Yes, the table contains headers. And then what we're going to do, we've got this ElevenLabs clip, and this is what we're going to put in here. We are going to put in the web content link. There it is. Scroll down, and it might be cut off on your screen. I'm not sure, but in the bottom right-hand corner, just click save. I'm going to just move this over, and we're going to add one more Google Sheets module. And it's going to be the, where are we at? Get a range of values. And so here we are. We make sure that we've got our spreadsheet ID, of course, is going to be the content calendar, educate being the sheet, and then the range of values that we're going to get. If we look back down here, you can see that we go from A to whatever it is, right? So you can go from A, or even maybe like if you wanted to start from like D, which is the status, like that kind of thing. And then, you can go kind of to the end if you want, or go a little bit further, whichever kind of works for you. But what I'm going to do, let's just say A, and we click on the increment function because we want that from that row, right? 2, which is just a colon, and then U, and the increment function again. So we're just going to get that, basically that row. Now, if you wanted to, you can also change it to, like, say if I just want from the status. So I can just change this to D, because I really don't need the posting date, the pillar, etc. But you can still pull it in. It doesn't really matter. Table contains headers is yes. And then I'm just going to click this save. Now, I'm going to run this module only and see it's looking for the increment function number. I'm going to say it doesn't really matter. I can put in 2. And then you can see what it comes out with, right? Like this is all, it starts from D. There we go. It's all of that. Now, I think I might think it's going to come up funny when I link it now back to ShotStack, but we'll just see. But this get a range of values, what this is going to do, I can link this directly to our ShotStack, and that's going to replace those clip 1, 2, 3, and 4. It replaces the whole thing as well as the topic. So one, just to get the range of values, is going to replace all of those. So I can just shift, of course, and select, like that's what I just did. And then I can delete it. Easy breezy. Magic align, of course. But now what ends up happening is that in my ShotStack, I have to see all these black boxes. I have to change them to green boxes by getting the range of values. So the topic, of course, now see, there we go. So the topic is going to be there. We already know that. That's going to be E. The narration, there we go. It's, I shouldn't have run that module only. Maybe don't do that. But that's okay. Clip 1 is just going to be this URL. Clip 2 is going to be the URL 2 down from it. Clip 3 and clip 4, we just take out this value, and there we go. Then we're going to click a save. So now everything's just going to feed into ShotStack from one module as opposed to the rest. So then we're going to let that render. Everything else is going to more or less stay the same, except, so see this in the Google Drive here, there's a little 1. It's because we've changed up some of those clips, which is fine. So this reference module, get a cell, it's not accessible because we deleted it. So now the upload file name, we're going to back up. The file name, because we were getting that from the topic, we can just get that from our range of values. So it's really important that I think the topic is going to be really helpful. Hint, hint, rename it your topic. And the same with this one, because those were, remember, that's a cloned version of itself in a way. So we'll take that out, and we're just going to look for that topic again. When I find it, there, boom. Now you could also put in a column and have a name for each one of these if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. But it's good to have the name of it in your Google Sheet is the point. So once you have that, we're going to actually update a cell here. Yeah, that's fine. That we want that to be rendered. And what we're going to do, then we could update a row, which is probably easier. Because we also want to update, we're going to do our content calendar. We're going to update a couple of cells in this row. So the sheet name is going to be educate. There it is. Row number, back to our increment function. So I find it so bloody handy. There, scroll down. Yes, it contains headers. So what we're going to update here is actually the status as well, right? So we can, because it's normally, we have planned and then pending and then posted. So we're going to just say pending. And then what we can also do this, instead of, we can delete the previous one. We can do the render status, and that we can change it to whatever the render status was in our previous shot stack get a render status. We can get that. Boom, there. And the template video, we can get that from, where are we now? The updated file from our Google Drive. And it's going to be this web content link. So now then we'll get at least the link so that the link will be in our Google Sheet, and we can view it right from the Google Sheet as soon as it's rendered, as soon as we're ready to approve and review. So this is for our human in the loop. And now we can just delete this module. We're going to auto align that magic wand looking thing. Now, when it comes to if it failed, we don't really need to update the whole row in a way, like, you know, because it's just, so we will update the whole row, actually. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go into this spreadsheet ID, the Nailed It content calendar. Now we're going to update things a little bit differently. Educate, row number. Again, we're still going to change. We're not going to change the status to at all, though. That's the thing. That's why it's going to be a little bit different, because it's not going to be pending. It didn't render. We're going to have the render status, whatever the render status was. Like, we're still going to do all of that. Back to our shot stack, get a render status, done, save. So that's a little bit different. We can delete this module here, and then we can just move it over there. So that's if it kind of fails. We've got a different kind of update rows, and we're going to then, we can just clone it, but we don't really have to. We can just leave it here because we've only really updated the value for the status, right? That's it. So you can keep it like that. So that's an option if you wanted to. So if it fails outright, that's all we're doing. It's not going to go from, you know, planned to pending or anything like that. And then this last one here. So this is get the render status from here. So we can clone this, but see, it's going to be, we're going to have to update that get the render status because it's not coming from that module. It will be coming from the previous render status that falls into that flow. See, you can see how that's not quite right, but that's okay. We can update these. So that status is still going to change to pending. The template video is going to come from the drive module on this flow, on this arm, if that makes sense. It's the web content link. And then the render status is going to happen before that flow control, before the router. I know we have to scroll all the way back. And then this status here, because this particular arm can't read what happened in the other arm, if that makes sense. Now we don't have to worry about this approved to post because this will be part of the human in the loop, right? So that's pretty good. So now that we've got all of these filled in, we can just pop in, we just save this module. There we go. And then we can right click here and delete that module. We don't need it anymore. And the magic align, of course. And now we're all set to be able to run this through once. So what we're going to do though, I'm going to pop a quick save. Maybe I'm going to rename this. I will have this linked in the description below. V2. There we go. Another quick save. Now, if we want to run this through, of course, we have to reset this. So to reset it, we're just going to right click. We go into settings. We're going to say after one cycle. And then we're going to right click and run this module only. We see that that's the bundle is 1. We're going to you can just click on it, right, to change the settings to never. Save, right click, run this module only again, and that will go through the header row. See that row 1? And now we're ready. Pop another quick save, why not? So now this will run through row 2 and it should post. So let's see what happens. The ElevenLabs is, yeah, that's really quick. Here we go. SRC, so there's something wrong with this value. I'll look at the ElevenLabs. Normally there would be like, it looks like 2 people side by side, which would show that it's shared, and maybe ShotStack can't read this file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a share link. I'm going to add a module, Google Drive, get a share link right there. I don't know if that's going to be the issue, but let's see. Now you can see here there is the file ID. We'll just click that from the previous Google Drive. The role would be reader, and the type is used. So if you want this to be a particular person, like just for future, you put in an email address, but it's going to be anyone. So anyone with the link, and so that email goes away. FYI. So below that, allow file discovery, no, because otherwise somebody could Google search it and find it. So there we go. Click save. Now let's just make sure we've got everything linked up properly in the ShotStack module as well. Oh, this is, we'll change this to our share link. Now let's just check out our ShotStack. Oh, this could be it too. See the narration, I actually clicked the wrong box. I knew I messed myself up by running that module only, this Google Sheets one. So it should be a link, actually. It should be this link, column G. So not this, but right below it. This one here. So I'm going to take this out and then replace it with that link. And I think that that's probably what it was. So click that. And then we'll just click a save. And then what I'm going to do, that should work now. Okay, and I'll scroll out. Oh. I'm going to right click. We're going to start this from scratch again, right? So after one cycle, save, run this module only. So we're just going to go through that reset process again. Change that to never, and right click and run this module only. There we go. Done. Then we're going to run through this thing again. And just keep going. The ShotStack does take a minute. And with tools, we're just going to pause this here. And there, just through editing, I wanted to cut that out. So we don't have to wait for it. And because we have this for 2 minutes, right? Like there's no need for us to do this for 2 minutes, but it gave me a chance to have a nice sip of my tea, rather. And here we go. We're getting the run. Oh, and boop, boop, boop. So it's run all the way through, which is great. And there, it just kind of popped up on our Google Sheet as we clicked over to it. So there's our ElevenLabs link. It's changed the status. Now we've got the video, and you can click on this video. You can see the render status is changed. And the approved to post, you can change this once you've actually taken a chance or had the opportunity to review this. And let's watch.
Tired of writing the same emails? ChatGPT generates professional emails in seconds. Just describe what you need, and it drafts perfect responses instantly.
There, so if you're happy with that, then you can change your approval status as well, right? So that will help a great deal for our next session. But first, let's just take a quick look. So now we've got that as yes, status is pending, and we've got all of our clips. Now, okay, so unfortunately, for some reason, I was having some technical difficulties and my video glitched when I was screen recording building this. So we're just going to walk through what we have here and we'll pick up where my video picked back up again. So anyway, what we're going to do is we've got our search rows. The biggest part here is we put in a filter. We want to say that if this says pending, see, it already went through, but if this says pending, as we did in the previous clip there, and then the approved to post is yes. So that's what it is. So it's really, if that's pending and that's yes, right? Then we want to lift this so that we can start to go through the posting. I've ordered it by posting date. The limit is 1. So this actually did run through successfully, by the way. So Google Drive, we're going to search for files and folders. Now I've got this, the file and the folder in my Google Drive, the Nailed It Short videos. I'm going to search within the name. And remember how we named everything but after the topic? That becomes really important because then we just pick up topic and then .mp4. So that's what we're finding is this file that's that particular file, right? That for that particular topic. Then we're going to download this file. So if we from there, so we can put it into Dropbox. So this Google Drive download a file, we just link into this Google Drive file ID from the previous module. It's really simple, that one, in fact. Now, if we want to upload a file to Dropbox, you need to make sure that you've got a particular folder that you want it to go to, and it just automatically links back to this Google Drive. Now we want a share link, which we're going to need for some of our socials. So we've got this folder ID, and we're just going to have the links access as max access, and that's it. And then we're going to download a file because we also need a download file, I think, through here as well. So we're going to need that for YouTube. So then this is going to be our file folder ID. That's it. And then we're going to click just to cancel because it's already done. So then I put in a router, and this router, we're going to use 3 different socials. If you want to see more, that's fine. I actually don't have one for my Nailed It. So I used Adorable Finds, which is now, I deleted it as soon as it went up because this video didn't make sense for that brand. So make sure that you've got your connection in here. And then the video URL is your download URL from Dropbox. Because if you recall from a previous video, we talked about that, like how you can't go from Google Drive to Instagram. They don't play well together. So the caption is going to come from the caption in the previous Google Sheets. Now for your YouTube, that's going to be the second one. The title is going to be the topic from the Google Sheets. And you can use either your download file from Dropbox or from Google Drive. It doesn't really matter. I just chose Dropbox. It doesn't matter. The description, again, is going to be the captions from that previous Google Sheets. And X, now this one is tricky. So in the X or Twitter module, right, you have to use, I'm going to use the download file, but you have to use the older version of the module. And this is how you do it. I'm just going to add it in here. So if you see X, formerly Twitter, in the upper right-hand corner, which I think is probably cut off here, we've got the V6 or V5. So this is V5. And for V5, you're going to actually have to re-authenticate. So to do that, if you don't have your X, so we dealt with this in a previous video as well, but you have to re-authenticate for that. So you go into your developerx.com and go into your developer portal. And if you haven't done this before, then go ahead and check out that other video on how to do this. But you go into your projects and apps, which I have here, and then your keys and tokens, and regenerate. So you regenerate that, and you're going to have your API key, etc. So we're going to you have to regenerate that and pop it into the appropriate place to re-authenticate. Oops, in X, right? And so that's what you would do, and then just click in here. show advanced settings, API key, and API key secret. So that's where you would paste that in. But I've already done all of that. So there we go. So we're going to use the Dropbox download a file. That's how you get media into X, because the current X module, the updated one, you can't add media. So what we're going to do is, so in this media ID, so we've got the X, formerly Twitter, right? And so that's already authenticated. The text is going to be from our captions, and this is going to come from that previous X module, the old one, the V5. There we go. And now in the Google Sheets, we can now update the status to post it, because this is going to be the last, it's the third arm that it goes through. So once it goes through all of these postings, we can just say, update that to post it. So we're going to auto align. And once you run through this, I'm not going to run through it again. You can see here how I had this, I uploaded it as private in my YouTube. You can see it there. Unfortunately, I already deleted it on Podorable, and here it is.
Generates professional emails in seconds. Just describe what you need, and it drafts perfect responses instantly. Tired of writing the same emails? ChatGPT generates professional.
So there you go. I've already put it into TaylorMade, and this is it. And you can see how this ran through. Now, unfortunately, this is where my video picked back up again. So here we go. And this will be linked in the description below. So there you have it, a full faceless content generation system that you can just pump out content on autopilot, an unlimited amount to, and you can send it to as many different social media platforms as you wish. Now, if you did find this video and this video series helpful, it would help my channel out a whole lot if you would hit that subscribe button. And if there's something else that you would like to build together, leave a comment, let me know. Let's make the magic happen. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, happy automating.